The more I see of Jerry Jeudy, the more I want to see it. I do want to see him. Can he be a number one? I think that's still open for debate. Your
Yep.
air quote one. He runs good routes. He hasn't dropped many balls, and he's made some catches with his hands that indicate he's got pretty good hands.
Yeah. No, he's some of the stigma around him was that he didn't play hard enough in Denver, and he had a focus drop issue. And when you're out there running cardio because the quarterback play is so bad, it eventually does wear down your psyche. And I think that happened to him. And the Sean Payton came into a new situation, a new place, and was trying to establish his dominance in that. And it's working out. The Broncos are doing fine, but like it was not that wasn't his guy, and that happens, and those trades happen, and the Browns capitalized on it. And even if Jerry is maybe the Browns go invest in a top 10 wide receiver this year, and Jerry's more of the second most targeted guy. I don't like labeling them as like wide receiver 1 and 2. It's just like these are positions, and positions matter. And I just the kind of labeling it by he could be the second highest targeted player in an efficient offense. That's well worth the contract that they gave him. So I don't. But again, I don't think there's reason to believe he cannot drive the sort of the front of the bus here on targets in an efficient offense, because we are seeing that produce itself like over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And then, like I said, is Cedric Tillman a young core piece that you feel really good about? I mean, there's no reason not to. He's been really strong, and Elijah Moore's been better. I have a desire to improve on that position from an explosiveness standpoint, but even Elijah Moore has looked like a more efficient player in his time with Jameis too. And it's like, oh, this kind of changes the perspective on a lot of them. And even Mike Woods had a pretty strong game as well. So again, I think we have this idea that, oh, they cannot draft wide receivers. They can't. Well, maybe it's just about finding a guy who can deliver them the football and instill in a belief in them that no matter what route I'm running on this play, I'm not out of the picture. I could get the football. And that, from my experience of playing with wide receivers who are talented guys, like they just want to be involved. Like that's the one position on the field that is skill based, like you're running all the time, you're doing the dirty work. You want the football too. And if you don't believe you have a chance to get the football on 55 of the 65 offensive snaps, that's a tough place to just go out and do the little things all the time. And you need the ball. These guys need the football. And when they've had that belief in the last 5 weeks, I think you could agree with me, your perception starts to change around how good these guys can be. And I think that's an exciting thing. And in the midst of a 3-9 season, it's an exciting thing to see some of these guys like, oh, you're kind of doing the old eyebrows or furling up a little bit. Maybe there's something there. And I think that's what we feel like Cedric Tillman, like the idea of two bigger guys that can run like Cedric and Jerry, and maybe drafting a Tet McMillan out of Arizona or a Luther Burden out of Missouri. There's a lot of interesting angles to take here that could like amplify this group. And then that becomes just an easier world for somebody like Jameis to operate in, right? Amplify the talent around him and see what happens.